Hey, it's Joe, and I'm here with John Andrews.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, you are the what of Ignite Social Media?
I'm the CMO of Ignite Social Media, and as of last week, I also carry a card as CMO of Carousel.
Okay, show me what you got here on LinkedIn.
Of course. So, Joe, you and I were talking earlier about how a brand could begin to gain engagement, could begin to engage building relationships with potential customers, with potential partners,
and specifically, I was talking about a client that makes things out of extruded tubes, and I said it's kind of hard to engage people on the extruded tube conversation. And
Absolutely.
You said,
I said, well, that's true, but I think any targeting process is going to go in a framework of marketing that we've been doing for years, right? We've got some new tools. We've got some great new tools that give us great feedback. But all in all, we're doing the same thing. Who are the folks that we want to talk to, right? Where are those folks connecting with media, right? You and I were earlier in the presentation today. We were talking about asking how many people have a Snapchat strategy for their brand. If you're a big brand, you probably need a damn Snapchat strategy. It's the number 3 network for millennials.
probably not for medical device folks.
Probably not for medical device folks, but we're
Right.
The premise is the same.
Yes.
Where are people spending their time? Where are they engaging with media? Where are they engaging with each other? Where are they engaging with content? We have to figure out a way to be there. A way to be there that's not interrupting what they do. This is not TV. This is not a medium that people take kindly to interruption. Mm-hmm. You've been to YouTube. You've watched a video. Everyone groans when the pre-roll comes on and hovers over the skip ad button until they can skip the ad. This is a participation medium. So if I'm the extruded plastic guy, somewhere there are other extruded plastic people who I want to connect with. So I'm looking at manufacturers who are building products out of extruded plastic. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at potential suppliers that are supplying parts to the industry. I don't know the industry.
You mentioned before that your team at Ignite would be able to do some research and see where these targets are hanging out online.
Correct.
How do they go about doing that?
So our analytics team is gonna sit down with a potential client or an existing client and say, okay, who are the folks we're trying to reach? What do they look like? We're gonna create a persona of that person. So what does that person do? What types of things are they interested in? And then we're going to use some data, right? So we go through a process where we actually personify that person so we can create a picture. We create an amalgamation of celebrities or of people or of personas that we can relate to. So, it might be, I'm sure the people that buy extruded plastic are probably very much like George Clooney, and they spend a lot of time thinking about their fantasy sports teams, and they enjoy trying new ethnic foods. I don't know, whatever. But let's say that's our target market, right? So now we have a persona of this person. There are a lot of data sources that we can begin to look and say, where do they spend their time digitally, right? We use a combination of, we use Forrester, we use eMarketing, we use some data sets from different analytics companies. We look at social profiles from different folks, and we build a view and prioritize social channels. So I'm going to guess somebody in a B2B type situation like this was probably going to end up on LinkedIn, right? That's not a technical analysis, but that's where my customers are going to be.
Can you think of a second platform, or it would be so far behind LinkedIn, just focus on LinkedIn?
No, I don't. The other thing is, these folks are people. So they're doing the things that everyone else is doing. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on other channels. And I think by using the data, we can understand where those channels are, how they're using those channels. What I love about all of those channels we just mentioned, we can search, we can understand. We could go, to Twitter right now. And I'm sure there are industry terms in this industry that we could attach to and search. I do it. I do it all when I'm. I think Twitter becomes such a interesting search engine because you can see what people are talking about right now in any given subject, and I almost never don't find data. Sorry for the double negative. Same thing with Google. You can search conversations, you can search content that exists, and find. The other place that I'm going to guess
that's a good tip, everybody. I'm taking a special pause to rewind and listen to the last 15 seconds because using those search terms is a great way to figure out how to have those conversations.
The other thing I think you're going to find from searching like that is you're going to find communities. So in an industry like this, there are likely micro communities somewhere. There are forums, there are groups, there are folks that just talk about
And we're back with John. Stupid phone call.
So we use it's actually a good time. Let's pull up the site. So, so we use a content-centered approach. When we talk about content-centered approach, we produce content. I'm going to show you what we do at Ignite.
Talk a little louder to compete with them.
And now what we do with our new company, Carousel. We produce content about the industry that we're in. We're a social media agency, right? So if you Google social media, and you can spell social media agency, which really helps to Google social media agency, you're going to see ads. You're going to see a couple of folks that are local because Google is localizing us for Seattle, and then we're the #1 organic national search. Right? We get this position because every single day we are producing content about social media. Right?
I'm with you.
And
I'm just thinking of my extruded friends who don't have anyone writing copy. They're a bunch of engineers. They're not thinking about marketing. They don't have a terrific budget. Just wondering what's practical for customers like that.
Well, there are writers, and there are technical writers, and there are probably industry-specific people in this. And again, that search process, I think, can help you. I mean, that's where you're going to go to find an influencer. You're going to go to find a content creator. And we are just happen to be
a little louder, I think.
We just happen to be blessed because we have a company of content creators.
Right.
The majority of people who work for us create content, and really anyone that works in our company or any company today needs to create content of some kind. Have a passion about it. There was a speaker earlier today that I thought asked a great question. Do you love the brand you're working on? Because you should, or you should work on another brand. So we create content. So here's a content post about our industry that our head of strategy, Lisa Brazil, wrote recently. It's what Google Plus changes mean for marketers. So Google Plus just it split apart their platform into photos, into content, and it's going to function differently than it has in the past. Marketers who have been using the platform, it's going to change. So they're going to have to change their tactics and their activities. So Lisa's written a great article about this, and we publish it on our blog, and then it begins to get shared. So this has been shared 150 times, call it rough math, and it's got some useful information, right? We share this in an outbound
email.
In an outbound email every Friday. We
aggregate the stories of the week.
Aggregate the stories of the week about what's going on with useful information. That's our job.
Oh, look, you got 3% battery left.
Right. And this is going to last. And then what we also do is then use that content to also connect with people on other channels. One of the main ways we meet other people is LinkedIn. It's a business tool. It's a great B2B tool.
Show folks how you logged in as your brand instead of your person.
Sure. So I'm on LinkedIn. This is my page. So if I go home, This is going to be my stream. This is my personal LinkedIn page, but I'm also an administrator.
Right now you're in as John.
I'm in as John.
Okay.
So there's my own page.
Okay.
That's me. There's my stats and whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to go over here to my image, which you can't really see.
Yeah,
Right now.
okay.
It's not coming up. And I get this menu for managing our business. So I'm
Okay.
going to go down to company page.
All right.
And I'm going to hit manage, and I go into this screen.
And there you can leave an update.
Into this tool, I can leave an update, so I can go in and put in a story. I can. So I had done this earlier
Yep.
today. I took that blog post that I showed you. I published this morning. So here's the interaction that's getting, and I can look at. What I love about LinkedIn is it gives me an analytics platform that I can go and see how all the content that I share performs. And this has been one of the higher performers at the 2.7% engagement, which is not bad. Most content gets below a point, which is
In this context, engagement is a click.
it's a click, it's an interaction, or it's followers required.
Okay.
So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get people engaged with the content. I'm trying to.
I see sponsored next. You've chosen to sponsor everything. What is that?
This is giving me the opportunity to sponsor. So if
I see. That means it's not sponsored.
It's not sponsored. So let's say I want to go in. We wrote a post. We wrote a post about our new Snapchat channel. We just launched a new Snapchat channel. If I want to, I can go in and I can sponsor this post. And I can go in and I have a content test that I'm running right now. So I can sponsor it under that campaign, or I could set up a new campaign.
Okay.
Right? And it's going to say, look, I'll pay $4.50 for each person that clicks on that. Or I can pay a CPM rate for each person that views it, right? And I can then go in and so I can go into this.
Surely you've done this enough to know whether CPC, cost per click, or cost per thousand is better, and you've decided that cost per click is better.
Well, if I'm trying to get specific people, what I like about cost per click is using LinkedIn's model.
I can go into a specific geography, a specific job title, a specific.
You could do the same for cost per thousand, though, couldn't you?
I could, but what I really want to do is I want to pay for. If I'm going to pay for interaction, I want to pay for that interaction, right? People viewing and reading my stuff is nice, but I want to elicit a result. I get a lot of that anyway, organically, without sponsoring, right?
Yes. One other great.
I see.
One other.
Let me ask you about that.
Go ahead.
So, if you would have earned that click anyhow, but you sponsor, then you're going to pay for that which you would have earned anyhow, right?
Correct.
There's no way to figure out that's something I would have earned anyhow, so don't charge me the $4.50 for that one. Once you turn it on, you're paying for everything.
And that's why I'm doing tests. That's why I'm trying to understand.
And maybe it's interesting, I'll just offer, I'm wondering your thoughts. Let it run itself out organically first, and then maybe a week later, after it's died from that which would have happened anyhow, then you sponsor it?
Well,
what do you think of that?
Our approach is we sponsor content typically in our channels that we see getting engagement early, because we know that content obviously has some organic legs to it. So it's got some proof that there is an audience interest. So we tend to sponsor that content early. What's great is you can run $25 tests, you can run $50 tests and understand what happens. And then if you're getting good results out of that, if you're getting the results that you want, getting people back to other information, getting people back to a place where you can engage and contact them, getting people to download your capabilities or your pricing information or your marketing information, it may be worth that to you, because you can build a financial model that says, gosh, for every 20 people that we get to our website, we get 5 marketing downloads for our capability stack, and 1 warm lead where someone is calling us, right? And you're building a hierarchy of a model. Twitter has the exact same analytics that are now visible and super easy to use.
So this is the Twitter analytics for my personal account, and it's going to give us a lot of great information.
It's eventually going to give us a lot of information.
We got a really slow Wi-Fi here. I have 400 pages open. So here's a 28-day summary. I didn't tweet as much as I have. I'm at 65,000 total impressions and 1,420 people who visited. So I'm tweeting less and more people are visiting. So maybe I tweet too much. That's possible. And then it shows
Profile visits mean they came to your page?
Correct. And it shows you what people react to. And no surprise, people react to Ted Rubin very positively. It's amazing for me on Twitter, the most engaged activities are activities that make me a real person. Activity, me tweeting about business and whatever. It's interesting maybe to some people, but it doesn't get the engagement. But I love the
So
metrics.
pictures of your 9-year-old daughter, it's all about that.
Pictures of the food that I eat. Pictures of the beer that I'm drinking.
That's so funny. That's like the most ridiculed part of Twitter. Like, oh, if I want to see what John ate for lunch, I can...
But you know what's interesting about that is anytime I'm in a meeting, anytime I'm meeting someone new, they go, oh, you were in Seattle last week, and you went to Ray's, and you had a great looking piece of halibut. It's social media. The idea of every stat that I share about the ins and outs of social media, who cares? We are people, and we want to connect with people as people, and people are paying attention. I have a Nike Fuel Band that's hooked up to the internet, and it tweets when I run, and it tweets how far I run, how fast I run, actually how slow I run. Everyone I meet, everyone I know says, hey dude, you haven't run in a week. You need to get your fat ass out there. So I think that personalization aspect is what a lot of people and brands miss. I think those are the things that ultimately are going to separate one plastic extruder from another, is that there are people who run a company.
That's where I was going to close, because at 11 minutes we're going to time out on how long someone might watch our interaction.
Actually watch our interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
How would you conclude for the smaller company? Again, I'm going to use the plastic extruder guys.
Sure.
These are engineers.
Yep.
Who do not have an interest, a passion for communicating, tweeting, and all that other stuff. What is a practical approach for a company like that?
Sure.
You and I can, I'm the one who caught you inside. You started talking, and I just thought, great content. Let me get up my phone. This is my MO, not theirs.
Sure.
And they don't necessarily have a budget to hire someone like you or like me to do this for them. So what's practical here?
I think that they do have a passion probably for what they do, and they're probably already they do have a passion for what they do, and they do have a passion for the industry. They go and learn things about the industry. They go and look and see what competitors are doing. It's that curiosity that I think leads people to become great marketers. It is, and what I love about social spaces, what I love about digital spaces is if you explore those spaces, you will find the people you are looking for, and they will be glad you're there. They will be, they want to have conversations about what's the latest technology in plastic extrusion that is going to make living holograms possible. I don't know, but their communities are there that they can go and get involved in. I mean, what do they do when they go to a trade show? What do they do when they go to, an event, or they meet a customer? They have conversations about that industry. Those same conversations are there. They are discoverable, and they are open to participation.
I need someone with a smartphone to record it. Let's conclude with your name and how people can find you.
Joe, I'm John Andrews. I can be found at Katahdin on Twitter, which is KATADHIN, or John Andrews on LinkedIn.
That should be easy enough to find.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, John.
Thanks, Joe. Enjoyed